Hi, Stamper fans. Welcome to another Make It Monday. I am Nan Gerlitz, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Bloomington, Illinois. And I am here to help you connect with your people, whether that's gathering to craft together or you making items to share with them. It's all about making and deepening those connections. So it is a holiday weekend, the end of a holiday weekend here in the U.S. So you're getting the casual look from me tonight. Very little makeup and a t-shirt. So, but I knew you wouldn't mind. We're buds, right? So let's go ahead and flip the camera angle here. Let's get down to some business, right? I have some fun things to show you tonight, but first I wanted to recap our Friday night stamping results. So this was the Stamper Man's card, and this was my card, and Stamper Man, woohoo, winner, winner, chicken dinner. So everybody really loved this one. It was a pretty close vote still, but he won by quite a few. So that was awesome. I love to see it. And I wanted to point out these clouds that he made because we didn't have a cloud die cut, set of dies in our collection at least. These are flowers. And then he just added some gray Stampin' Blends to the bottoms to make the clouds. So he's kind of brilliant. Yeah, so we absolutely love that one. So congratulations, Russ. But tonight we're making my card as always. So, and I will say, this was a very fussy card for me again on Friday night. And I had this idea in my head and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm totally going to do this. And I'll show you kind of where the general idea came from. In our annual catalog on page 91, 90, they show the big leaf collection background stamp. And then they show this beautiful card where they clearly stamped it in like 3 different colors separately and then fussy cut all these leaves and put them up on dimensionals. And I thought, oh, wouldn't that be cool to do that on top of the designer paper that already has all the leaves on it, right? Yeah, so cool. And actually a lot of people loved it that were voting. And so this is the big background stamp that I was talking about that I used. And I stamped it in black on white paper. And then fussy cut a bunch of these leaves just to kind of do the frame around. And then I just grabbed the hello from the Irresistible Blooms for the greeting. So I will say, I thought as I was making it, it was very fussy. It was a lot of work. I love the way it turned out. But I thought, I have to recreate this on Monday night, and I don't really want to do this again. So I started brainstorming on other ways that I could recreate this because ultimately as well, I want to teach you how to do things. So you can absolutely stamp that background stamp on a piece of paper and then fussy cut all those leaves. And I will say I needed to get down deeper into the grooves because when I first fussy cut, I didn't fussy cut that closely and the white was very distracting against the other colors. So I needed to get really in close on those fussy cuts. So if that's not your jam, and if you want like an easier way to do this, I have an easier way. So as I said, originally I did the leaf collection, I fussy cut everything. The second attempt, I thought, oh, why don't I just take a Stampin' Write marker, the black Stampin' Write marker, and I could ink up. So let me show you that stamp again. You take the brush end of your Stampin' Write marker, and then you can go and just ink up what you want. So I thought, oh, I'll just ink up just around the perimeter, those leaves that I wanted, and then I could stamp right on the designer paper, and I bet that would look great. Well, it came out looking like this, which is fine, but that was several inkings to get it even that dark. And so as you can see, this one is much darker. It's a much better imprint. And part of that is because it's on the white cardstock, which takes the ink really well. It's got a smooth surface and it just takes that ink really well. So you're going to get a deeper stamp with that. All right, so I thought, okay, that wasn't quite what I was looking for. And then what I realized is, I have a totally different stamp set the layering leaves stamp set that has this great leaf here that's very solid, and it has a matching punch. So why don't we just do that? So this is for all of you that took a look at this card and went, I will never make that. Here's one you can do to recreate it. So we are starting with, excuse me, a base of thick basic white cardstock. Then we've got a layer of our basic black. And this is a really easy way to do this. So I took the basic black layer, is just your 5 1/4 by 4. It's just that 1/4 inch smaller than the base, right? And I'm going to go ahead and line this up because the top of my grid paper has a 0 point, this thicker line. So I know where the middle is, which is really nice. And these are each 5 inches tall by 1 3/4. Yeah, 1 3/4. All the cardstock measurements are in the description in the video, the supply list and measurement videos or links. So you can catch them all there. No need to scramble to write. So now I can see where that center line is, and I can kind of get that lined up. So as I said, both of these are the same width, same height. And what I did to figure that out, I took my 1/4 inch off the top, you know, the top to bottom measurement. So the black is 5 1/4. The designer papers are 5 inches, so a 1/4 inch smaller. But if you just took a 1/4 inch off of here and divided it in half, I wouldn't have that middle section. So I had to take a 1/4 inch off and another 1/4 inch off. And so then I get a slightly bigger section in the middle, which is fine. All right, so we've got it perfect. But yeah, you definitely want that center line kind of grid paper or anything you have that you can do a center line off of. It's really nice when you have two pieces like that. All right, I've saved some extra little strips for the inside of the card, so we'll do that in a little bit. And now I have pre-stamped quite a few of these leaves. And what I did, because remember I told you when I fussy cut this and I didn't cut it really close, I had the whites showing too much. So I decided to stamp these on the Shy Shamrock and the Peach Pie, because that way the outline would be less distracting, right? So this is what we call a builder punch, or a multiple punch. It's got the bough on it, or the leaf image, and then it's got these little stems for these two. So this one side will cut out both or all three of these, and the other will cut out both of those. Very versatile. So I'm just going to pop this upside down so I can put my stamped image in here and line it up and give it a pop. I have pre-stamped and pre-punched a couple of them already as well. So we'll see how many we need. I absolutely love that we have the coordination with the punches and the images, because this is when you get the easy stuff to do, right? And I am using a couple of our new in colors again this week. The Shy Shamrock and the Peach Pie are new in colors. And every year, for those of you that are not familiar, Stampin' Up! Comes out with 5 new in colors, and they stick around for 2 years, and then they go bye-bye, which is sometimes very sad because we get attached to them. But the reason they do that is because we have our main core colors, which are fabulous and tried and true and work great and coordinate with all the things. But, fashion trends and home decor trends and just color trends in general change all the time. So every year they bring out some colors that are more on trend. So you have those things to work with as you are scrapbooking and card making fun things for your home, gifts for people, all the things that you can make with paper. Who knew? All right, so we've got a lot cut out here. Let's see if we probably have enough. So I'm going to put the green on green, right? And I'm just going to kind of start laying these around. I'm going to go at some different angles. We can recreate that kind of framed look that I had on the original. And then we've got some of the peach pie. Come in here and overlap. We just want to leave room somewhere for our greeting. And I am going to use a greeting out of the stamp set that I'm using as well. Let's pull this one way down. How's that look? Everything is not completely matchy-matchy. It's a little matchy-matchy. There we go. Okay. So now, this was the other thing that was actually a little fussy and I forgot about, is I used mini dimensionals because I did want to pop these things off the card, right? I didn't want them to be laying flat. And the mini dimensionals should still work with our punches. So I'll just do a few of the leaves. Let's see. Yep, and then one more here. So one of the other reasons that I used the in colors again this week was to remind you that the starter kit promotion is ending on the 31st. And that promotion is you get the starter kit, which is already a great deal. And then on top of it, you get 4 of the new in color kind of bundles. You get all 5 of the stamp pads. You get all 5 of the Stampin' Right markers. You get the pack of designer paper, which is what I'm using tonight, and a pack of the assorted cardstock, all for free on top of your awesome deal that is the starter kit already. So please don't wait until the last minute to take advantage of that. It is going to go away on the 31st. So once the 31st is gone, so is your opportunity. As I said, excuse me, the starter kit is always a great deal every day. It always ships free. It is like getting 20% off right off the bat. You pick out $125 of your choice in products, and then you pay only $99 plus tax. It ships free every time. And then in the future, you get 20% off all of your personal orders for as long as you remain an active demonstrator. And that does not mean you have to hold classes or sell anything. It simply means that you're meeting the minimum requirements. And if you don't meet the minimum requirements, you go back to being a happy customer and shopper, and all is good and no penalties are ensued. So I always like to point out that it is a great deal. And right now through the 31st, it's an even better deal because with those extra $82 in free products, it's basically like getting, I think, 52% off of a big order. So, like, why would you not do that, right? Who doesn't want to get 52% off? All righty. And I would love to help you in whatever you want to do. So if that is building a business, I will be here every step of the way. If it's just, hey, I want to make sure I get the best discount, I'll make sure that you are aware when extra sales are going on and things like that. And like I said, you don't ever have to sell to anybody. I should have preloaded some of these darn dimensionals on here, huh? But now you get to just chat with me for a few minutes. So I am still waiting for my order from last week from Free Shipping Day, which I always love a free shipping day. Like, who doesn't, right? I'm hoping that will get here before next Friday, because I will say the Stamper Man likes to come down here on Fridays when we come down to stamp and say, okay, what do we get that's new? And it's been a few weeks since we've had anything new, so hopefully we will have it by next Friday, and then we'll have an abundance of new things because I got quite a few new stamp sets coming. So you'll see some new things. That will be awesome. A couple of new bundles, I think, too. because we love the bundles. I think I'm going to stick this one straight down. Some height differentiation, right? Just a couple of little dabs here. We'll just sneak those leaves right in there. Alrighty, let's do the same one to that. So that one, that one, that one. Right? Yeah. It's hard. When I flip it over the other way, I'm like, wait, where did I put the glue? And this one needs a little bit too. So we'll just pop a little dab on the card. There we go. And I am going to trim all these, obviously. Don't fret. I'm not making a mess of this card. So while this is an easier way to do it, it's obviously still a little involved because of all the dimensionals. You could easily just glue all this stuff flat and not have a problem. One more. And the last one, we're going to do all 5 leaves of this one. I absolutely love this stamp set too because as you can see, there's a couple of open leaves and then there's this one, and those will fill in the color on either of those. So you can stamp just the outline and then stamp the middle in a different color or the same color if you want. I think I've got some samples of that up on Facebook, so you can definitely look through my pictures there, or I have a sample of that coming up in the next few weeks because we've got a couple of weeks of Friday night stamping and then we're taking a week off because we will be in Alaska. We are, in a couple of weeks, we're going to cruise for 7 days and then we're taking, I think it's a 4 or 5 day rail trip into Denali after that. So very excited about our trip, but we will be off the grid for a little bit, and so we will not be able to monitor Friday night stamping. So at least one of the weekends we are taking off because I won't be able to thank people for voting or post the winner. So I'm like, nope, we're just going to take that off and enjoy our vacation. But I do have some things that will be coming out to be posted on Facebook. So if you follow me on Facebook, you will see those. So I will have content for you, even though I won't be live to chat. And I would say that I will miss you all, but quite frankly, let's face it, I'm going to be like looking at glaciers and wildlife and just be amazed. And then when I get back, I will be very happy to talk to you all again. There, that was super simple to clip all those off. Oh, and look at that. How cool is that? I really do love the way that turned out. I think I like this one even better. So, and it was easier. All right, let's stamp our greeting. And luckily, this one has a nice little hello as well. You could do it for you. You could do whatever greeting you want. I do like, especially on a card that's definitely not, specific, like birthday or something like that with the design. It doesn't lock you in. I like to have something that's like a little more generic, so I can send it for whatever occasion comes up. Oh, nice and good deep black. Love that. I just re-inked my memento pad today, and so I'm getting some really nice black coverage. Beautiful. So we are going to fussy cut this guy. And that is really simple. As I always tell you, move the cardstock, not the scissors. Try to keep those scissors just cutting in a continuous motion. If you have to open them up again to, keep it going, and stop your cutting while you do that. And I will say the biggest thing that ever helped me with fussy cutting was the move the cardstock, not the scissors. Because it is a lot easier to do that than to try to cut and crank your wrist all around, right? That's a hard thing to do. All right, we need a couple little dimensionals for that guy. And we're almost done. So this one's going to go up a little higher, because that's where the room is. And then put a little glue on the back and we'll stick it to our card base. And then which color should we put on the inside? I think I'm kind of partial to this Shy Shamrock. So let's do it. All right, I'm just going to put the glue on our card base. You don't need a lot because you don't want it squeezing out, right? Line this up on the edge. And you do have a little bit of wiggle room with the liquid glue, so you can get that good and tight to the edge. And I'll just turn that over and snip it even. All right, one last thing, because we need bling. And we happen to have these fabulous, what are they called, shimmer gems that are in the new In colors as well. So what I opted to do was I took a peach pie gem and put it over on the Shy Shamrock side. And the fun thing is some of these flowers were perfectly lined up. And then let's take a couple of the Shy Shamrocks and we'll put them over on the peach pie side. So we still are forming that little triangle, but we've got some variation in our gems because we've got a couple of different colors. So there you go. That is the much easier version. So no fussy cutting aside from the greeting, which you could totally do a different way if you wanted, or just leave it off altogether and just write on the inside of the card. There's nothing wrong with that. Easy peasy, right? So I will tell you too, a good tip is that when you're working with very bright colors, and these were very bright colors, black grounds them so that the whole card doesn't look like just an explosion of brightness. And it also makes them pop. So you can really see bright colors with the black, contrast. So definitely if you're working with bright colors and you just can't get the vibe right, try adding some black in there. Definitely will help. All right. So let me know in the comments if you are more of a fussy cut person or if you are all about let's use the punches and make it easy, right? Okay, so that is all I have for you tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. If you got some tips, some good inspiration, I would appreciate it if you'd share the videos so that your friends and family can get those tips and inspiration as well. So until next week, I'm still Nan Gerlitz. Happy stamping.